Hey! Well, hello, my sexy mammals. Got my Thelonious Monk shirt on right now. See? Like it? Like it? Okay. Wise humans are wise enough to know that they won't know and don't know everything about the world. Wise humans are also wise enough to know that they should challenge conventional wisdoms perpetually. Traveling is one of the ways in which we navigate the human condition. And if you can't leave your bubble, your proverbial matrix, then reading and living vicariously through others is almost as good as traveling. And being culturally literate, being culturally sensitive is a plus because you want to have impactful conversations with people from all around the world. I stumbled upon an article by Ezra Klein, 22 maps and charts that will surprise you. And I've chosen 10 out of the 22 maps and charts to share with you. So here it is. 1. Africa is bigger than you think. The continent of Africa has like 54 countries, thousands of languages, centuries of civilization, empires, kingdoms. So you might want to be careful about constantly sharing that image of a black child living through abject poverty. That's not always the case. Africa is actually bigger than China, the United States, India, and Western Europe combined. Yep, they all, geographically, can fit inside Africa. We're used to seeing the 1559 Mercator projection map by Garodis, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, Mercator. The map was great for selling, not too great for showing true size. 2. The most dangerous drugs in America, the United States, are perfectly legal. The war on drugs, in my opinion, will be viewed upon as one of the greatest one of the greatest believed and acceptable myths, not in American history, but in human history. How a natural plant can be viewed as more dangerous than alcohol is indicative of how robotic and unnatural we love to be. I don't smoke, but how can you look at this chart and not throw up at the stupidity and the contradictions that we exhibit on a national level? 3. Fewer people are dying from war than ever before. Social media has made us hypersensitive to news and desensitized to human destruction. Let's hope this fewer death trend continues. Lately, though, Israel, Palestine, ISIS, Boko Haram, Ukraine, and now Hong Kong, things are quite ugly everywhere. But at least fewer people are dying from war. And according to Steven Pinker, we're less violent than any time in human history. 4. Liberia, Myanmar, and the United States are the only countries in the world that don't use the metric system. Oh, and Myanmar is opening its doors to tourists, finally. My good friend Lauren actually visited Myanmar. Hey, Lauren, hey. As an American, learning the metric system is in my bucket list because this American exceptionalism doesn't quite measure up with the rest of the world. 5. We've cut childhood mortality in half, almost in half, since 1990. The mortality rate of children under 5 was cut nearly in half between 1990 and 2013. Out of 195 countries, 191 have seen dramatic declines. And for the sake of humanity, there is no greater investment than in our children. 6. Global population will explode to 11 billion by 2100. Therein lies the great irony. There's already 7 billion people on planet Earth. UN forecasts project 11 billion by 2100. In many ways, overpopulation is a threat to our very existence because we can barely feed people now. 7. More than half of the world's population, 51%, lives inside this circle. Yep, I spent 4.5 years living in that circle, and it's pretty cool living in Asia. The geopolitics is very different. For example, in China, there's over 50 ethnic groups that live in China. You consider the Han Chinese as a majority, but there's also other ethnic groups. Countries in this circle include China, South and North Korea, Japan, India, Thailand, Indonesia, Bangladesh, Vietnam, the Philippines, Nepal, Malaysia, Bhutan, parts of Russia, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, Cambodia, Laos, and Mongolia. 8. The British have invaded almost every country on planet Earth. Effects of colonialism are still felt today. The British invaded or fought in countries and territories all over. Yep, terrorist comes in all forms. Historically, they do. If it's your first time abroad, you must be cognizant of geopolitics all over. 9. America is so big that its states are the size of countries. If you're an American traveling abroad, you might run into some anti-Americanism and a few stereotypes here and there. Americans speak this way, they do this and that. Always respectfully remind them of the sheer massiveness of our country, that we are the United States. Different political perspectives exist, multiculturalism exists, etc., etc. 10, perhaps the most profound in this list, you are a speck of nothingness. Scientists theorize that there's 100,000 galaxies stretching 500 million light years across space. Yeah, that certainly puts your life into perspective, into broader perspective. It's only fitting, pun intended, that I provide you with a quote by Neil deGrasse Tyson. Quote, I recognize that the very molecules that make up your body, the atoms that construct the molecules, are traceable to the crucibles that were once the centers of high-mass stars that exploded their chemically rich guts into the galaxy, enriching pristine gas clouds with the chemistry of life, so that we are all connected to each other biologically, to the Earth chemically, and to the rest of the universe atomically. That's kind of cool. That makes me smile, and I actually feel quite large at the end of that. It's not that we are better than the universe. We are part of the universe. We are in the universe, and the universe is in us. End quote. Of course, I can't end this list without mentioning technology. I used to code back in high school when I was in the engineering academy at Forest Hill High School in West Palm. But I can't code anymore. I need to add that to the bucket list as well. But that's besides the point. Snapchat is actually more popular than Twitter among millennials. Interesting. I still think Twitter has a more social impact, but Snapchat is more, I guess, a personal thing between people. But Twitter, I think, still has a more stronger impact on society. That's just my view. With that said, you can follow me on Twitter, at Wilkin Brutus. You can also follow me on Instagram, at Wilkin Brutus, and on Facebook, my Facebook page, WBrutus22. Yes, one love, peace, and be free. Oh, and before I go, do you have any facts about the world that you'd like to share? Please leave your facts about the world on the comment section.